Jewish, an educated, self-educated person, amazing in his relationship, very talented and intelligent and sharp. So I think that is beautiful that this Parashat Shemot, that we're going to learn is dedicated to his memory now as his anniversary of his Yortzah is approaching. Amen. So let's enter to the matter right away. I'm going to share with you 1 second a little bit of the screen that I am seeing. What's going on? זהו זה. Finish Sefer Bereshit, we starting Sefer Shemot. Sefer Bereshit and Sefer Shemot are divisions that it's not only by the Christian Bible that have made some parashiot, the cut on the parashiot, etc. It's a Jewish, authentic way to call 5 books of Moshe Rabbeinu. How I know that? You can see that when you open the Sefer Torah, in the tradition that we have, how we're writing the Sefer Torah, we leave 4 lines in between every book, and between Bereshit and Shemot, there are those 4 lines. The book is not called Shemot only because the first word is Shemot, but in the old time, they used to call the book Sefer HaGeula, Sefer HaGeula Hagalut והגאולה. That's how Ramban Nahmani bring it. The book of diaspora, the Galut, and Geula, the salvation. Meaning, is the Exodus coming out from Mitzrayim, from the Galut, to the salvation, to the redemption of the Jewish nation. But you know, in more ancient mentions, Sefer Shemot is called the second book, the second, and not even, and you could say, okay, obviously it's the second, so Vayikra will be the third, and Bamidbar will be the fourth. No, it's not like that. Second is only Sefer Shemot. Maybe they hinted to say that this is second to Bereshit, is the second part of Bereshit. Even if in the book of Bereshit, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is talking about the creation of the world, meaning the more universal approach to the people. It's about nations, it's about family, meaning you're starting from the creation, from the nation, then we start with the family. And in the family of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, what we look is for values, we will becoming universal values. If that is what's happening in general in the book of Bereshit, the same process is going to happen now in the book of Shemot, but much more particular, much more the creation, not of the world, not of the universe, but the creation of a nation, the birth of a nation, on the same kind of process that we have in Sefer Bereshit. And we're starting the Ele Shemot. This is the link with the parasha before. The Ele Shemot Bnei Israel. This is the names of Bnei Israel that came to Mitzrayim, the family of Yaakov, and then we have an Israel, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, name by name. We knew them, but we're counting them again, and all the explanation why we're counting them again. But my point is that interesting seems to be that this is a book of Jewish identity, of the first beginning of the Hebrew identity, let's call it somehow. Yeah, we are Shemot, we have name, we have an essence, we belong to something. Bnei Israel, children of Israel. And then immediately after you have the names, the pasuk start, Vayamot Yosef, Yosef, another name, yeah, died. By the way, he died before the brothers. Vayamot Yosef, and that's it. Names are starting disappearing. Kol Echav, brothers, V'chol Hador Hahu, and all that generation disappeared. Okay, you're going to say, listen, this is the syntax. That's the way that you have to talk. But we're going to see that from now and on, little by little, the names are disappearing completely. It's like there is a blank completely of identity. Ubenei Israel, yeah, we have the story of Bnei Israel. We still are children of Israel, the same one who came, yeah, Paru, multiply, they become strong. Vayakom Melech Hadash. What his name? I don't don't know. Even the name Paro is not a name. Paro is a function. Pharaoh is the name of the king. He has a name. Ramses II, we know, Ramses I. But Vayakum Melech Hadash, king, Al Mitzrayim, Asher lo yada et Yosef, ignoring what was happening at the time of Yosef when there was an identity. Vayomer El Amo, even he's talking to his nation. No El Mitzrayim, El Amo, Hine Am, and this is the first time that he speaks like that. And from that moment on, Paro will never mention again Am Bnei Israel. One time he said, Hine Am Bnei Israel. There is a nation of the children of Israel that it's becoming stronger and stronger, even more than us. Yeah, that's the concept. This is how his anti-Semitism starts, meaning it's dangerous. You know what they are, no? In Eretz Goshen, that are sitting in Pitom Bet Ramses, and where they're living on the borders of the country. So when the enemy is going to come, that's what Yaakov asked. That's what Yosef asked for hesitating, but because Eretz Goshen is the borders, and it's a. So Paro was hesitating. I don't know. That's okay to give to foreigners, yeah, to aliens, to newcomers, the keys of the country. Yeah. Now they become a new king that took that in another level. The first one said, yes, but I trust you, Yosef. Yes, but I'm convinced that it's going to be okay. The new Pharaoh come and say, no, it's dangerous. They're going to come, they're going to join our enemies, they're going to open the doors for them, and they're going to be Hambanu, and they're going to fight us. So you have the whole discourse, and I am skipping it because I want to focus on a specific point. And they have a whole discourse of anti-Semitism, why have an Ithakemal or let be smarter than them, etc., etc. So Vayomer, in one of the intent, he made the following thing. He called to the midwives of Ha'ivriot. Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim, listen to the thing. Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim, the king of Mitzrayim, no Paro, no name, to Lamialedot Ha'ivriot, to the midwives, to the Hebrew midwives. Let's translate like that. And now we have two names, Shifra and Puah. That would be the only two names that we have now, Shifra and Puah. Seems to be that they are distinguished, and the Torah want to distinguish them. See, because that's not the normal thing. In Mitzrayim, what was happening at that moment, and during the last 80 years since Yosef passed away, the whole time that we don't have any clue what's happening, from the time of from Yosef to Moshe Rabbeinu. We don't have any history, we don't have any, and Torah is not telling us that. You know why the Torah doesn't tell us? Because the Torah is not a book of history. The same way that in the book of Bereshit, he didn't tell us the passing between one generation to others, only names sometimes, and skipping a lot. And this is not a book of chronological event. It's a book of some, for right now, was irrelevant what happened during those years, because that's not serving the purpose of the creation of the Jewish nation, of the Hebrew nation, of Am Yisrael. Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim lamialedot ha'ivriot, but those names are, yes, relevant, because maybe that shows me, that make me a reflection for what happened during all those 80 years. That is, the culture of Mitzrayim is to wipe out any kind of identity. The concept of having a strong nation is because you as an individual, you are meaningless. You as an individual, you have to completely be a swallowing by the system. Even the gods of Mitzrayim, I went researching on Google before how many gods they have in Mitzrayim, and the list is beautiful, 2,000 gods. Some more important than others, but 2,000 names of gods. All related, or the grand majority related, meaning the important one. The second one, yes, are related with animals or with monsters. But all of them are with nature, meaning functional. It's not about any will, any personality having on there. Yeah, the Nile, yes, the Nile, because we eat from the Nile and we live from the Nile. The sun, the maximum god of Mitzrayim, Ra, the sun. Yeah, that's the sun is important because it has a function. Yeah, as a function of bringing us life. So water we get from the Nile, and the weather and thing for the agriculture is coming from the sun. This is the source of life. So you see that here, by a culture wiping completely identity, the Torah comes and highlight a few names. Shifra and Puah, because they're going to show, yeah, some kind of heroism and some kind, and it's going to be applauded by the Torah. So first of all, we have two opinions who were these two women. They were, first of all, Hebrews women, or midwife from the Hebrews, from Bnei Israel, or midwife from the Egyptian. What makes you think that there are? The pasuk said, "Lam yaledot ha'ivriot," meaning the midwife, the Hebrew midwife. No, you could read it a little different. You can say the midwife, yeah, that took care of the Ivriot. Lam yaledot is the one who delivered for the Hebrews. Meaning you can see it both ways. There are Egyptian midwives that took care also from Hebrews, or they're coming from the Hebrew. Why is that important? Why is that discussion? First of all, because the logic, how the Paro is going to try to wipe up a nation, to take all the boys and make secretly telling him that every boy who will be born, kill him, yeah, and every girl keep her alive. Very interesting. Must be that he's not going to tell that to the Hebrew girl. So it has to be that he's told that to people that are Egyptian. So he's convinced, he's talking to his people how to make this kind of genocide, of the beginning of genocide, quietly. You may have a very good question. They said 2 women can make the whole difference. You know, Baruch Hashem, Bnei Israel, when we came out of Mitzrayim, at least we have 600,000 men. So somehow, somebody, obviously 2 women, 2 midwives are not going to be able to take care of all the job of killing all the boys. What he was thinking. So you can bring a few options. One, that this is a pilot program. You want to see with two midwives, want to see how this program works in order to implement it somewhere else afterward. So you can say that, and then the program failed, so he gave up on that point. And the second option is the mialedot ha'ivriot. They were the midwife, was not simply the one who were working on directly with the Hebrew woman, but they were in charge. This is, you can say, sarot. That's how some Tarshin and Abrabanan explained. This is, they were in charge of the midwife. They were really the main midwife of the country. So they were in charge and responsible for all the midwives in the hospitals and in the places. So, and then in the public places, even in the public hospitals. So he told them, listen, the one who are going to take care of the Hebrews, pay attention and kill the boys. So you can see them as Egyptian, or you can see them as they're going to find, yeah, that those 2 midwives, Shifra and Puah, are not others that Yocheved and Miriam, or Yocheved and Elisheva, according to a different midrash. Not other than Yocheved and Miriam. You understand what I'm saying? So why the Torah doesn't call them by their name? Because that's the culture of Mitzrayim, to wipe. Even when I'm highlighting the name Shifra or Puah, Rashi will tell me Shifra is because she meshaperet. This is not, that's her function. She was the one who took care of the baby, clean it up, and pay for the healthy and hygiene of the kid. And Puah was the one that the one who would take care after that, after he's outside of the clinic, of the room of delivery. Yeah, you have to nourish him, to make him not to cry, and to dress it, etc. So even the name Shifra and Puah, according to Rashi, are not names, are description of a function. So you see what's happening. There is no identity in Mitzrayim. And then if you continue, Vatirena mialedot Elohim. So those were exceptional. They are following justice, their profession. They didn't become midwives to kill children. This is against their function. This is against that who they are. So therefore, they're not going to listen, but they do something else. To make sure that they're going to live. That's fantastic. So in that, the Torah is going to say, wow, amazing. Not only they didn't let them die, yeah, but they make sure that they're going to be healthy and good. Meaning that's what they didn't listen at all to the pilot program or the general program of the king. Yeah. Vayikra Melech Mitzrayim, again, you don't have names here, but Tikra Melech Mitzrayim, the king is talking to the Merialedot, to the midwife, why you did that? Why you saved those children? And they answer. They answer also in a very, very Egyptian way. But Tomana Hamyaledot, the midwife, to Paro, not to the Melech Mitzrayim, Paro. But again, Paro is his function. Very anonymous. Loki Nashim HaMitzriot, they are not like the Egyptian Ha'ivriot, the Hebrews. Ki Hayot are animals. And we don't have time to get to them. So you want to hear a version of Egypt? Listen, people are people and I have no identity. But since there is no identity, you can find another level between people and animals that are over there very close to each other. So that's how you wipe out any kind of identities. There is no slavery, there is no persecution. This is only the philosophical and ambience or cultural ambience that's happening in Egypt that we didn't know because the Torah doesn't say it, but in between the line you can discover. It's a crisis of zero identity. And if you have a doubt what I'm saying, the next pasuk, a man from the house of Levi is taking a woman of the house of Levi. I'm going to end up knowing who they are. This is Mr. Amram remarried or retaking back his wife Yocheved, the mother of Moshe. That's what I know that, but the Torah is very meticulously sending me the message. This is what it's all about of Mitzrayim. Vayelech ish, an anonymous, I don't know who he is. Vayikach ed bat Levi, she's marrying the girl of Levi. Anonymously, we don't know who he is. Vatahar ha'isha, the woman, yeah, and she said, the boy, vatere oto kitov. What should be naturally, if you learn Sefer Bereshit, what happening immediately after Vatahar Vateret? After Vatahar Vateret, after she got pregnant and she got delivered, she saw the baby and she gave a name. This is what Leah, Sarah, Rivka, you have it in Rachel. Yeah, that's the natural way. So call it by name. So Vatere oto kitov, he should continue. Vatikra Shemot Tuvia. I didn't invent the name. The name Tuvia is according to Hazal, is the original name of Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu is not a Jewish name. It was given by the princess of Egypt. So the mother called the baby, probably Tuvia, probably. I don't have except Hazal telling us that, but the pasuk doesn't say that. The pasuk keep it completely anonymous. There is a boy who was born, and she kept it. But Tetatzav, again, this is her sister. When she has to put it on the basket and put it on the Nile, the sister, what's the sister name? We know that the sister is Miriam, not mentioned. But Tetatzav Ahoto, the sister is looking, is watching. And Bat Paro is coming, the princess of Paro, she doesn't have a name. Bat Paro, she doesn't have a name. We're going to call her Bitya afterward. Yeah, Vateret Bat Paro, another anonym. This is Mitzrayim. Vatomer Ahoto el Bat Paro. The sister is saying to the daughter of Paro. Very bizarre. When they take the baby, the sister comes to the princess and tell her, I can call a woman, anonymous, that could be nursing because she's Hebrew and she was nursing the baby. And then what happened? The Bat Paro said, go, call it. And she called, no names, no Yocheved. She called Em Hayeled, the mother of the boy. Not even Moshe yet. Why? Because he doesn't have a name. And the boy grew up. He grew up, meaning at the beginning, I don't know how they call him, the baby. But so he stayed, how long you nursing a baby? let's say a year, let's say 2 years, but a year, let me. So for 1 year, she was nursing the baby. Yeah, ותביאו אל בת פרעה. And after that, ויהי לה לבן, very bizarre pasuk. Please, let's try to analyze it together. ויהי לה לבן, meaning she adopted. He became for her a son. Who? The baby. What baby? ותקרא שמו משה. And she called him Moshe. Who called him? The princess. But Paro is the one who wanted to adopt him, and she called him Moshe. What is Moshe means? Don't look at the continuation of the verse. What Moshe means in Egyptian language? Yeah, what is the name of Paro that we know by history? Ramses, right? Ra is the god of Egypt, is the sun. Meses is the son. Paro is the son of God. Yeah, how you say son? Meses. That's the name that she gave. Vayila leben, that is son. So she called him son. Vatikra shemo Meses, Moshe. So who is Vatomer? And she said, who? But Paro? I'm not sure, because normally in the pasuk we said, Vatikra shemo Moshe ki amera, because she saw, ki minamai meshitiu, because I draw him from the water. Doesn't say like Vatomer, there is saying Vatomer. Who is Vatomer? Maybe Vatomer is Yocheved. That's the Hebrew interpretation of an Egyptian name. The Hebrew interpretation of the it's called Moshe. So she called it son. Yeah. And the mother know that he has another name. Say, you know what? Let's make it Hebrew. Kiminamai meshitiu. Because very bizarre to say that the princess of Mitzrayim is speaking Hebrew, unless she asks someone, I don't know. But Kiminamai meshitiu, I took him from the water. This is a very Hebrew expression. So it seems to be that Bat Paro is giving an identity, and even the identity of Moshe Rabbeinu is weak, is blurry. It's being called son general. Okay, so this is how Moshe Rabbeinu is growing. Vahi bayamim mahem, yeah. On those days, Moshe is growing. What that mean growing? We just said Vayigrow here. Vayidal hayeled. Now Vayidal Moshe. He grows as a yeled, meaning he was a little boy. He's now by himself. He can be in the house of Paro. He's been taken to the palace. Now here he grew up in the palace, and that's what even Ezra and other Mefarshim said. Vayidal ligdula. He's already a nice prince in Egypt. He has authority, and he can go out. He represents the kingdom. This young Moshe, forget the movie. Forget the movie, because the movie is feeding up what the Torah doesn't say on the way that Hollywood wanted to say it. Yeah, but you have here a prince of Egypt that he's already in charge of something. Vayetze elehab, and he goes out to his brothers. Who are his brothers? The Egyptians, right? He grew up in Mitzrayim. That was exactly the word that Azib ben Ezra will say. He went out to his brothers, meaning he went out to Egypt. But he knows that he's adopted. For sure he knows that he's adopted. He probably was in touch with his family. He know who is nursed him. He know about Miriam. So Vayetze Elehad could be also his brothers. His brothers, his biological brothers, the one that he came from, the Hebrew nation. So the next word are going to clarify. Vayar besiblotam. And he saws the suffering of who? So here you have a mahloket, a discussion between two hachamim. One is Ibn Ezra, and the other one is Ramban. Yeah. The Ramban said that Ehav, his brothers, are the Hebrew people. Ibn Ezra said, no, he went to see how things are going, what is the life, what is the system working in Egypt. Ehav is the Egyptian. So let's be a little bit sarcastic, and let's say that Moshe Rabbeinu went to find out who is right, the Ibn Ezra or Nachmanides. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu is asking himself, who I am. Who are my brothers? Vayar, look, it's amazing. when he see the people, Vayar Ish Mitzri. The Torah, when he calls somebody important, call it Ish. This Ish, this important, distinguished person, meaning I see something great in Mitzrayim. Egypt is an important nation, but also the Ivri is an important one. Ish Mitzri Makeh Ish Ivri. An Egyptian who is building up an Ish is also important. He also distinguished. There is something there. Me'ehav, he's taken position. I didn't know what on Me'ehav, now I say. Why? As a very good Jew, progressist on his time, he's with the victim. He sees, and he stand there. He took his time. Forget what you learn in school. He say, look at here and look at there. Meaning, you look at the two positions. Why this guy is beating him up? What he did wrong, and he sees the discussion and he listens to the argument. Vayar, and he saws ki en ish. There is no more any distinguish here. One of the two is losing his humanity, is losing what is distinguish him as a human being. Moshe Rabbeinu start discovering identity. And then he say, en ish. What I thought that was an ish, that's not an ish. So what he do? He take the Mitzri, he not anymore ish Mitzri, vayaket ha-Mitzri, and he killed the Mitzri, he beat the Mitzri, and he covered him in the sand. You understand, the image is beautiful. It's not beautiful because he killed him, but it's beautiful the fact that you put it on the sand. This is what is left from Mitzrayim, from the Mitzri, at the end of the time. And this is what brings the Hakamim to say, Vayar Kovacho, he looks what can come from him in next generation. At the end of the time, Mitzrayim, you're going to find it in the middle, in the midst of the sand, with pyramids and mummifications of kings. That's what you're going to find. Pieces of history buried in the sand. Happened that the second day, he goes out, and this time, you see what's going on here. Meaning, Moshe Rabbeinu is having, so far, his first event in life. His first event, he's looking for justice. Where he's looking for justice, he sees that the Egyptian is not in the right, so he killed him. What's wrong? Should he be fearing because he killed an Egyptian? Not at all. He's a prince of Egypt. He's the high authority in a tyrant kingdom. What's the problem to kill someone who is misbehaving? He has the authority for that. But at the moment that he said, I am killing him and I am with the other one, I am a prince of Egypt and I'm changing to the other side. I want to be the leaders of the Hebrews. I am a leader from the Egypt. Now I'm going to move to be Me'ehav with the brothers, the other side. So the next day he sees two people fighting. Hakamim are going to say something amazing. So you know who was this Hebrew guy who was fighting? Was the one that he said yesterday. And then he enters and said, guys, what's going on? Rasha, why are you fighting with the brother? Meaning, you understand, he is looking as a leader of the Hebrews now. Vayom Hasheni, the second time that he goes, he wants to make justice among the Hebrews themselves. And what the answer is? What? You already found your identity? Who made you the leader and the judge among us? You just came to this nation. You just decided that you are in our side. Meaning you didn't grow up with us, but you grew up somewhere else. So if you want to be our judge, start from scratches. Not coming from Egypt. This is the way that the Hebrew is turning into it. You're going to kill me the same way that you killed the Egyptian? Moshe was afraid. The thing is done. What is done? That he killed an Egyptian? No. That he took a position to become a leader of the Hebrews. And as a leader of the Hebrews, he killed an Egyptian. Over there, that's not anymore tolerable. If there is a prince of Egypt who killed I understand. But now it's not a king of a prince of Egypt. This is right now a Hebrew who killed an Egyptian. Moshe understand. Moshe understood. I couldn't understand why these people are slaves. I see my brothers in slavery. I don't understand why they deserve that. After he saw the way that they are dealing with him and among themselves, oh, now I understand why they deserve this. Now I understand what kind of people are those. So he's really deceived. Yesterday, I took a position, I like them. Today, I don't like them. I don't want. They're also the same kind. So Moshe Rabbeinu do not find his identity yet. And then he's going to go and he's going to run away to Midian. So you see, first time he saved a Hebrew from an Egyptian. The second time he got involved on 2 Hebrews. The third time he is going to Midian. By the way, Midian is under Egypt, is under the control of Egypt, so he had to hide over there too. But he goes to Midian, and he went to the well, and he sees that they're taking advantage of girls. They don't let the girls. So what he come and he defend the girls. He defend the woman. So at that point, they're going to come back to the father and say, Ish Mitzri, a man of Mitzrayim, the one who has authority, distinguished, save us. That's why we came so early. So here, what you see, now they're strangers, and Moshe get involved. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu here is showing a character, and that's what the Torah want to highlight. Justice, no matter to who, no matter when. This is a man who is straight and coherent with and consistent with the values of justice. Moshe Rabbeinu is thinking that way, but for him, the fact that he went to Midian, he's telling you where? Not to Mitzrayim and not to the Hebrews. So maybe I have to start something new. And then he's finding his identity with the Kohen, with the priest of Midian, that Hazar are telling us that student Midian has a tradition of the house of Shem, and this is also have the Torah of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. That's where he learned. He learned in Judaism, if you want, his Torah from the Goy, from the Midian people who were telling him his origin, and then he's thinking that maybe, you know what, maybe Midian we can be. Maybe Midian can be the nation. When God is going to speak with Moshe, this is pre-revelation. Pre-revelation, Moshe Rabbeinu is looking for his identity. So now you find that God is talking to him in the burning bush. By the way, the image of burning bush, what is the burning bush? The fact that the bush is burning is no problem. The fact that the bush is burning and do not get destroyed, do not transform in ashes, that was amazing to him. Meaning that's the perfect image of who we are as a nation. You can have a bush, not important, burning, meaning there are slaves, but although that they're going through all this misery, they don't get destroyed, they don't disappear, they don't become ashes, they survive it. So that was amazing for Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu get a lesson. Ra'o ra'iti et oni ami asher b'Mitzrayim. Moshe, my nation, it's not Midian. Moshe, my nation is the one who is in Egypt. If you didn't understand that, I am telling you, I belong, meaning my nation is the one who is in Egypt. So now, we don't have enough time, but I'm going to steal from you another 2 minutes only, to show you when he's sending to the mission. So, you know what? No, I'm not going to continue that sense. I want to make the highlight that there is too many women in our parasha. If you pay attention, you have, first of all, but without names. You have Shifra Pura, that could be Yocheved to Miriam. Even there are Egyptian or Hebrews. You're going to have Tzipporah. You're going to have the story of the daughter of Paro, who's saving Moshe Rabbeinu. All those women are savers. All those women are taking something, when Egypt want to wipe out the identity, the woman, the one who gave life, have an instinct to bring back identity and to be a savior. Even Tzipporah is saving Moshe himself and his son. And even Paro, when he wants to kill the men, to kill the boys, but who's going to survive? The life is by the girls. So he understands that if he wants to integrate the Jewish nation to him, if he wants to take the genius of the Jews, the gene, the special gene of those people, the Hebrews, he has to take the woman inside of him. That image is extremely powerful, that and Miriam as the sister, extremely powerful, that the life and the identity is going to go not through Moshe Rabbeinu in this point. So you may ask, Rabbi, what you're saying here is very, very disturbing. We're talking about Moshe Rabbeinu, the greatest of the greatest of all the prophets, and you're telling me that he doesn't know who he is? That's what you're coming to tell us? Meaning, yes, Manitou said as following, Rabbi Yehuda Leon Ashkenazi. He said, the first time that he has a question is a legitimate question. When he answered already the question, anyone who want to come with the same questions is a kofer, is a pikoros. Moshe Rabbeinu has the whole right. He was looking, he's the first one. And why Kadosh Baruch Hu is picking Moshe Rabbeinu, meaning an Egyptian who grew up in a palace, to be the savior of Ami, my nation who lives in Mitzrayim? First of all, two reasons. One, because in every salvation, in every redemption, in every revolution, doesn't come from the same people. There is always, doesn't come from the proletariat. There is always someone from outside who's come from the bourgeoisie, from the elite, who is taking care of them. So that's what Moshe Rabbeinu is. En asir mesir atzmo mibet asurim. A prisoner cannot free himself. Has to come from outside. So Moshe Rabbeinu is being put outside in order to free. And the second thing is, because the Hebrews themselves, if he had grown with them, they would never respect him. The fact that he's coming from outside, yeah, they have another kind of acceptance or another kind of introduction to them, yeah, that might be bringing them hope. So here, after that, the encounter, the revelation to Moshe Rabbeinu is to tell them, go and save my nation. And Moshe Rabbeinu is going to ask one question. Mi anochi, who am I that I'm going to Paro? Mi anochi. I know in school we learned that was to be humble. But me, who anochi? No, listen what he said. Who am I? Am I Egyptian or am I Hebrew? And then he asked another question. Who are you? Meaning God. If they ask me who sent me, what I'm going to say, what's your name? What's your essence? In the book of Shemot, the names are blurry. Moshe is rediscovering the identity. And God is telling him, I will be the one who I will be. A lot was written about that. A lot of mefarshim. I'm going to give you only one, and with that we close. You know, there is a modern song, yeah. What does it mean? It will be whatever it is. In another word, who cares? Hakadosh Baruch Hu say, depending on the situation. I will be the one I will be. Whenever I will be, and that's what the Midrash said, sometimes I'm the God of Tzebaot, of Armtel, sometimes I'm Shaddai, sometimes I'm Elohim, sometimes in each one of the things I present myself differently. Meaning you don't need to have identity of what we're talking is will be depending on you guys. On Am Israel is bringing, first build your identity as a nation. Baruch Adonai Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen. Okay.